Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chun, and let's get into Carlos King's interview with Lil Scrappy. Y'all, this was so good to me. Let's go. First of all, shout out to Carlos for talking to Scrappy. I can listen to Scrappy talk all day long. This was wonderful. So Carlos was saying that ever since he's been working with Scrappy, he's known that his spirituality has played a part in his life. And he asked him, where did he get that from? And he said he got it from his dad. He said because he saw his dad go to church, he saw his dad praying, and he was trying to figure out who was he talking to. His father let him know that this is something that he's going to need later on in his life. He said so. He lost his way at one point, but he's back now and he is spiritually grounded. And I love that. I love that I know that about him. Scrappy and his sister grew up in a way that most of us have no idea what that's like. Growing up in a trap house, seeing women of the evening, sleeping with men, all types of illegal substances. And he said that on the weekends, they would have them to clean up. They could watch TV. And he even said that they were like his aunts and his uncles because when Mama D was out with Ernest, like they would be there. They would make sure he would stay in the house. He said he'd wait till they get a hit and he would just sneak out. He'd sneak out the window. He said he was out of there. Like, it's hard to be in a relationship with a man who's had this type of life because it's so normal to him. And when something goes on in the relationship with you and a man like this who's had this type of background, it's hard for everybody to relate. Like, I really hope Scrap gets all the therapy and the help that he needs because I like Scrappy after this interview. I really like him. And he said living this life, he didn't realize how dangerous it was. Like police, snooping around the house and garbage cans. And Mama D would say, don't worry about that. I mean, it was just normal for him to see that. And like I said, these people were a part of his family. Like, Mama D really should sit down somewhere because this man has seen way too much. And Carlos asked him, like, when did he get into the music situation? He said he wanted to stay with his grandmother, Miss Patricia, when he got ready to go to the first grade. And he said he saw these two guys, like, when they had come in, people were, like, yelling for them and go this and go that. And he said he wanted to know what that was like. And that was his first introduction into music. He also said that he had really good grades because his grandmother would do really nice things for him. So he wanted those nice things done. So he was like a straight A student. Like, he is a rapper. I feel like all rappers are very smart. You got to be smart to put that together and it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I love this. He said he signed with Lil Jon when he was 17, right? And then Lil Jon took him to Georgia State to do a homecoming show. And he had some songs out and everything, and he didn't realize that the people knew his music. They knew 666 Mafia's music. They knew Lil Jon's music. And he said he had that feeling, and he wanted that feeling. He never wanted to lose it. He also said that he wanted to go on tour with Lil Jon, and he told him he would do whatever. He didn't have to feed him. He was like, he washed his own clothes. He wear the same outfit. Just talk to my manager. And that's exactly what happened.
Like, he said, you for real? Like, yo, he was like, where your manager? I said, he right there. He was like, let's go. I was like, oh, shit, for real? He was like, yeah, go ahead. I was like, damn, man. Like, fucking got me a bump in the back, cuz. Rolled over in that bit, nigga. I felt comfortable the whole way. I was like, I made it.
Scrappy is so Atlanta, and I love it. Bam, I get it. I get it. And he said he had such a good work ethic, right? He went all the way up with 50 Cent, G-Unit, Eminem. And pretty much like when people would hear that he worked with Lil Jon, it was an end for him. And he was so grateful. And he said that was a feeling that he wanted to have because he told Lil Jon he can't go back home. He was like, I have to do this. And I love that for him. And Carlos asked him, like, do you think that you're where you should be in music? And he said no because of how he had come in. Because back in the day, you had to have an album of songs. You had to have more than one song on TikTok or more than one song playing on the radio. in order to just be looked at, right? And he was like, now it's totally different. He said he had to get it out the mud. And Lil Scrappy is great. I'm sorry, I just love this interview. But then I loved how Carlos was learning stuff too, because Scrappy was talking to him. I don't know what Carlos has endured in his life in Detroit, but the things that Scrappy was saying, Carlos was like kind of shocked about it. And then he asked him like about being broke, and he was like, "Yeah, I've been dead broke." Hold on one second.
I have been dirt broke. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying not since you've been.
No, I mean since I've been a little scrappy, I've been dirt broke. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Like, I done been to where before I was on Love and Hip Hop, motherfucker, like, Shawty Low, rest in peace, Shawty Low, or that Young Jock. What that boy name me? I know he do something, and I was just like, bitch, nigga, my name is Scrappy, Scrappy, that head name. Why you used to goddamn, used to.
Y'all, Scrappy is so Atlanta. He is, and I love all of it. Let's keep going, child. So then they talked about when he got Love and Hip Hop. He said he was dating Diamond at the time, and Love and Hip Hop New York had gone off. And she was like, "Would you do this?" And he was like, "No, not with you, not the way you talk to me on TV. Absolutely not." So he got a call from Mona Scott. Mona thought he would do it with Diamond, but he told her he would do it with his baby mama, Erica Dixon. And he said Mama D also. And she knew Mama D from something else, and she was like, "Yes, let's get her on here." And he said him and Erica was like, she felt like they were hip hop's power couple, right? And Carlos asked him, was Diamond the love of his life? I think that's how he said it. He said no. He said Erica Dixon is. He said, but Diamond is the one to show him pain in a relationship. Let's get into that. He said he and Diamond had got a home together. You know, he was going to have with him, Diamond, and his daughter. And he said that he was come downstairs, her laptop was open, and he saw a message on there with Soulja Boy, something with Soulja Boy on it. And he was like, "What is this?" And she was like, "Oh, you know, I'm touring with him. You know, he's cool." And he was like, he was just blinded. He was like, "Oh, okay." But then he said the way he found out about Diamond and Soulja Boy was that somebody on Twitter had hit him and asked him, did he know where his woman was? He said yes. But then somebody told him about what she said. He went on her Twitter and saw them exchanging love messages. And that broke his heart. He was so heartbroken that he remembered the actual tweet between Diamond and Soulja Boy. And he said he used to wake up late. And he said after that happened with Diamond, he started getting up early. Right? So Diamond was the one that really broke Scrappy's heart. And he said shortly after that, that's when he got with Bam. Then Carlos asked him, had he ever talked to Soulja Boy? He said not about the Diamond situation. He said he had heard that he had got dropped from a label, and he was talking about Soulja Boy in that context. And he said he was going back and forth because at that moment he was a hater because of what happened with Soulja Boy and Diamond. And he said Bam reached out to him and told him, don't do that. That's a bad look for you. I love Scrap and the Bam together. But what I really respected about it is that he said that Diamond and Erica got the worst of him. He said there was a lot of ladies. He said it differently, but I understand that. And he said when he got with Bam, like he was trying to do the right thing. But the thing with Bambi is she never trusted him. And she always questioned him if he had to go to Miami because, you know, Shay in Miami. She didn't like that. She always thought he was doing something. And it was just a lot. Because you know how that can be in a relationship. If you're not doing anything and someone is accusing you every day, like that's aggravating. He said he had found something like a diary, right? Bam's diary. And he said to read things that people really feel about you and they're not here to stop you. And he said that was kind of be-made of him. He said, but to know how she really felt and he couldn't tell her that he had read it, like that's foul, Bam, if you did that. That's hurtful. He also said that he's never heard Bambi say anything nice about him on television, right? And after everything he said about her, I feel a little different about the Bam. Because Scrappy seems like he's trying to do the right thing, right? And they ended it with Carlos asking Scrap if Bambi ever really loved him. We'll find that out Tuesday. Bye, y'all.